Okay, so now that we're home, I'm going to show you how we set up Amerys feeding supplies and wipe off her pump, because it gets dirty and dusty and sometimes it gets milk on it. And so she has the infinity pump. We did have a kangaroo, but it was too heavy with her oxygen, so we got the infinity because it's lighter weight and smaller. And this is her backpack. It's an infinity backpack. A lot of DMEs just automatically send these out, but some you have to actually request them. And if your insurance covers supplies like the pump and your formula and your bags, then they should cover at least one of these. And if something happens or it gets damaged, make sure you save it, because I want the damaged one back when they replace it. So to set up her infusion, I take this, and there's a hole on either side, so well, no, this one just has the one side. So there's a hole here, and it goes all the way through the back, so that you can hook it up to her belly. So we'll just do this, and make sure that's out of the way. And then this is her formula. Sorry about that, my son's having a conniption fit. And I just fill it up. And see, I told you earlier that I saved the bottles to mix. Now I can just throw that one away. And I'm going to go ahead, there's a little hook in here. I'm going to go ahead and hook it so that I can be hands-free for a minute. And this is the other one I had made, because I forgot I had that one. So I'll just go ahead and fill it up. Seal it, and then this way it keeps it straight up and down, so that when she wears it, it's not sloshing all around everywhere. And then you take the cartridge, and it's really easy. This is a flat side, and this is a groove side. The groove side goes down, and it wraps around the dial. Pull it, and it just pops in. And then you shut it. Just making sure that these two are on either side and they're not kinked in here. And I will go ahead and turn it on for you. Pop the end of this off. And this is her extension that goes into her belly. We saw it this morning. And I put it in here when I'm priming, so that way whatever goes through goes back into the bottle. And then there is a prime button, and you have to hold it, and it takes it a minute, but you have to hold it the whole time. And if you can see it, you can see how it's priming. Not there, over here, like where the bag is. You can see how it's priming through, and it's going to go through the cartridge and then out of the cartridge, which is what we put in here. That's what it's called, it's a cartridge. Now there is a way that you can take the little teardrop out of the cartridge, or you pop the teardrop on the cartridge and you don't have to prime it through the pump. You can do a gravity prime, and there are hacks on YouTube for that, but we don't do that. I just take the time to go ahead and prime it. If you'll watch, it'll come through the line, and then it'll go through her extension, and it'll drip back in the bottle. The reason we prime the extension is so she doesn't get air in her belly, because even gastroparesis or not, anybody who has, if you get a gas in your belly, it hurts. So here it comes. It's taking it a while. So then I make sure it drips a few times, and that way I know that it's in there. So I just set this up and pull this until I get a good end on it. So this is all that's left in the bag. And this houses your pump. It's Velcro. And then to keep these cords from getting kinked, there's 2 Velcro strips here. One for the part that comes off the bag. And then the other Velcro part is for when I hook her up. Since I don't want all of this hanging down, I'll pull it through and wind it back up and Velcro it under here to keep it all secure. Emery, come here, baby. So I'm just going, since it's already primed. Normally she has a right angle, but we're using the straight in bolus extension. I just slide it in and make sure that that black arrow and that black arrow meet up, and then you turn it clockwise to make it lock. So now she's actually hooked up. I will go ahead and verify she is on 110 an hour, and then we maxed out at 3,000. Unfortunately there is no alarm when this is done, but her bag will need to be changed way before this, so I always reset it. Because it's on a continuous dose, I don't need to stop it to tell it, okay, I only want 500 milliliters, or okay, I only want 1,000. She's continuously on it. So I've checked that, and now I'm going to hit run pause to make it run. And it's running. When that little thing goes around like a little weight dial and it says run, you know it's running. So now what I do is I turn around, face your sister. I put it on her back. Here, put it on your back. And while it's on her back, I fix the cord. So you see, like all this cord's hanging down here. And you don't want that because she'll step on it and she could rip the tube out of her belly, which she's done before. Or she could disconnect the bag and feed the floor. So,
I've done it before.
Stand still, baby. So I just take it and I pull this, and it looks like it's got a kink in it. So I take it and I pull it to where it's just barely under the book bag, but this is out. And I just follow the natural curve of the cord or the bag tube, because if I don't, then it'll kink. And then I place it right here and do the Velcro, and it stays in place. And then you can zip it up. If you need to check it and you don't want to undo all this, you can just unzip that part and it takes you straight to the pump. You just zip it back up. There's pockets in here for supplies. There's a little one here, and then put it back here. Baby, stand up and stand still, please. Back here is just a small pocket, and what I usually do is I put her charging cord in here, for the simple fact that if there's an emergency or something happens and we have to leave within minutes, I know her cord is with her, so if it can charge if the battery happens to go dead, because she can be on it and it charge at the same time. And then there's also a section back here, so if you have 1,000 milliliter bag instead of the 500, you can put the 1,000 milliliter bag, and it's the same setup. Holds the cords and everything, and it feeds through so that the pump stays here, and the 1,000 milliliter bag is here. A 1,000 milliliter bag full of fluid is actually way too much for her to carry around. 500 is pushing it. It gets too heavy, she gets lethargic and tired, or some days whenever her mitochondrial disease is acting up, she just can't even stand up with it. So that's how we do her infusion bag. And we also have a Y port extension, which I usually change her to at night. And the Y port, so she can get fed. With the Y port, there's a little med port that comes out right here, so it looks like a Y. And this can stay in the larger bolus area, and the Y port, you can clamp it off, pause the pump, and you can push her meds through. close it back up, unlock it, and then start her bag back up. So that way I don't have to disturb her by unhooking her, giving her meds, and hooking her back up. So that is how we run her infusion bag. So today, can you not get in? Today is Sunday, and we are headed to the grocery store for what? What are we heading to the grocery store for?
Go grocery shop.
For groceries, yes, but so we could do our medication and meal prep Monday. If you want to see our meal prep Monday, leave a comment below, and hopefully in the next couple weeks I will do a video for you. While I'm thinking about it, Emery has several backpacks that she wears. So this is the first time we've used her feeding tube bag as a feeding tube bag and for one of her little tanks. Since we're not going very far and we'll be gone for very long, we've actually added to this back pocket where you put the 1,000 milliliter bags one of her itty bitty oxygen tanks. Now Emery's on 2 liters of oxygen, so these don't last very long, 45 minutes to an hour tops, and that is on pulse flow. And if you don't know what pulse flow is, instead of it running continuously in her nose, when she breathes in, it initiates puffs of oxygen. Guess what we need to get first?
What?
Avocados. They're right there behind you. Right here. Should be.
Which end do you open it up? This end?
Find the end. You do it. There you go.
Stick my hand in there. Bam.
Now let me squeeze them, and I'll let you put them in. I'll squeeze them and you put them in the back. Okay.
Okay.
Go get us some bananas. These are Emery's favorite. So let's get this one. Oh, here's some that are pretty, and this one you can use.
Now we're gonna put these in yours.
No, bananas are your thing. Or you want to put them in my baggie? Go ahead.
Here, you take one pack, I'll take one.
Another one of Emery's favorites is Asian pears.
First, let's get some apples.
Ooh, no, we're going to get the pears first. And I'll look at them and hand them to you, but are you excited about your Asian pears? Okay, get ready to load up. Emery got her bananas, her pears, her avocados.
Wait, I want to show them a special surprise.
And the Oreos. Oreos. Couldn't see a happier kid. Give her Oreos. Emery got bit in the face by a mosquito. So mosquitoes are getting pretty bad out here. So as many of you know, we had a surprise we wanted to show you today. Emery has a new friend. Meet Harley. Or actually Harlequin, as Emery has named her. She was actually rescued from a place where they weren't allowing the mother to feed her. She was infested with fleas in the hot sun, dehydrated, and she has just now moved to a gruel mixture after being bottle fed, which we've been bottle feeding her for about a week or so. Let me see if I can get a shot of her little face.
Harley, look at the camera.
She still has that sucking nature, even though she's on gruel. Because she's sucking on Emery's arm. Oh, look at her. Isn't she cute?
I think she's going to give me a hickey.
Tomorrow she will be about 5 weeks old. And what we're doing is Emery gets treatments twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day with her nebulizer. And then she also has a vest and a cough assist. And we are trying to get the puppy used to listening to those sounds. So while they were in their kennel, they've been hearing the sounds, and now she's holding her while getting her treatments to get used to it. Normally, Emery would run her vest and her nebulizer at the same time, but we're trying to slowly introduce all these loud, scary sounds to the little one. But she did not come alone. She came with a friend too. Meet Hercules. He is her litter mate, so he is 5 weeks old tomorrow as well. And he too was infested with fleas and not being fed by mama for whatever reason. We don't know if it was the owners or mama just wasn't feeding him. But he's adorable too. And what we try to do is feed them before we handle them and get them introduced to new sounds so that they're full and not so scared and don't have so much stress and anxiety. But they still want to suck, and they're full. Their bellies can't hold anymore. Hold Hercules up so we can see how big his little belly is. He looks like a little pear. So I don't think his little belly can hold anymore without splitting in two. And you can see here that Harley's got the sucking and the graping down, or the pawing down like she would with her mama. And I can promise you she's not hungry. I don't think it was time to put her on gruel, but the vet said we could. We did go and give them a vet, a little check with the vet, and she said everything was good. They're actually thriving very nicely and growing big. But this one, for whatever reason, sucks constantly. She even sucks on her brother, like on his neck and his ears and his face and his paws. It's the craziest thing. Don't let her bite down, because if she gets frustrated, she might bite down. But so while Emery's getting her treatments, Harley will be getting used to the sounds that her machines make. And then Arabella gets treatments as well. So Hercules will be getting used to her treatment sounds and all those loud, scary noises. Oh, and by the way, this is what Arabella's nose looks like today. Isn't it pretty?
Yeah.
She says it's sore and it feels like a big, huge bruise.
Yes, it does.
But it's scabbing over. I don't know if I can zoom in and get... There we go. Ha. She says she's scarred for life. Now it's time to say goodnight. See you tomorrow.